Hello everybody and welcome back to Magna Carta 2. In the last video we defeated our first boss of Strada, and in this video we're going to move on from the rest area and we're going to start our next set of trials.
Now what?
Over to you, Celestine.
You can count on me! This is the second chamber. He who wishes to pass must first face the human sacrifice trial. For the human sacrifice trial, your task is to protect the person of royal blood in the three areas of courage, bravery, and heroism. The instructions for this trial must be followed precisely. The person of royal Carta blood will act as the sacrifice and stand atop the magic circle. Once that is done, glowing orbs in each area will target the body of the sacrifice. During the course of this trial, the magic circle will create a light of divine protection to protect the sacrifice from the ill effects of the surrounding magic. But when the orbs detonate, they will hurt the sacrifice. You must destroy the orbs before they detonate. In each area of the second chamber, there are 4 types of vessels that are triggered like those in the first chamber. Whenever a vessel is triggered, it powers a device that hinders the activity of the orbs. You should make good use of them. If you can manage to protect the light and the sacrifice for a set amount of time, you can proceed to the next area. However, if the orbs happen to detonate against the light 10 times, it will vanish into thin air, and you fail the trial, even if your time is not yet up. If this happens, you can always trigger the activation vessel located next to the magic circle in order to generate a new light and try the trial again. If you are able to conquer all 3 areas in the human sacrifice trial, courage, bravery, and heroism, you have succeeded in passing the trial of the second chamber.
Zephie, will you be all right?
Yes, I'll give it a try.
Princess, we'll keep you safe and sound.
Okay, so long story short, we have to protect Zephie for a certain amount of time. These trials are much easier than the previous trials that we have done, because what you can do is you can simply stand in front of Zephie and protect her and just wait until the timer runs out. That's one strategy. However, if we read this piece of mail that we just got from Igton, he tells us that there are some secret treasures in Strada during the trials that we're doing right now that will appear when Zephie is having to be protected. So while the timer is running down, there are treasure chests that appear, and as soon as the trial is over, they'll disappear. So we kind of have some treasures with a bit of a time limit on them that we need to collect. So we're gonna do that, and luckily this trial is short enough that we will be able to collect all of the treasures as well as being able to save Zephie. Now, she can get a hit a total of 10 times, which is pretty forgiving, especially in the short amount of time that we're given right now. But even if she does get hit, there really is no penalty. The only thing you'll have to do is restart the trial. And the only bad thing about that is you'll have to endure the time limit again. Especially if you have already gotten all the treasure chests, that means you might just have to stand there for 2 minutes and protect her. But really, it's not so bad. So you can kind of go about doing this however it is that you'd like. If you don't care about treasures, you can just stand there and protect Zephie and wait for the timer to run down. You can focus solely on the treasure, not worry too much about the energy balls. And then if Zephie gets hit 10 times and you have to restart the trial, at least you have all the treasures, and then you can focus solely on defending her. And that's kind of my strategy. I like to go for the treasures first, and if Zephie gets hit, you know, she gets hit and I just have to start it over. I do make an attempt to do these trials on the first try, but as they get bigger, there are a lot more treasures to collect and a lot more room for error, so these later trials I probably will have to restart, but this one should be manageable. We already grabbed 2 out of the 3 treasures, and she still has 5 more hits on her. So let's grab this last one up here. And then let's get back to Zephie. So in this trial, we were able to collect 2 commons and a backpack for Rue. And now we just have to wait for the timer to time down. And to my knowledge, the treasures that appear in this area also vary depending on whether or not you finished up the royal trials back on land. So if you went around and you collected the royal seals and you talked to the kings and you got their blessings, then I do believe the treasures up here change, although I'm not 100% sure about how that actually works. I haven't tested it out in quite some time.
Well done, everyone.
We did it. Let's continue to the next area.
So now that the timer has stopped, a couple of other things about the trial. The first thing is that I prefer to use ranged attackers. That way I can attack the bubbles from a farther distance, and it gets rid of them faster, especially if there are a bunch of them all in a row. And secondly, of course, you can't use Zephie during these trials, so you might want to pick a party beforehand. And the third thing is that as soon as you move on to the next trial, which is going to be the Trial of Bravery, it will automatically put you into the trial. It's not like with the other previous trials that we had attempted, where we can sort of walk in and take a look at our surroundings before we start. As soon as you walk into the next trial, Zephie will automatically get into the mechanism and the counter will start. So what might be a good idea is going back to the restroom, saving, making sure that you have everything that you need, and then going to the next trial. But if you think you're ready, go ahead and move on and start the next one. We will be doing that in the next video. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.